Hey guys, Season 13 of The Curse of Oak Island has been a roller coaster from the moment it began, but Episode 4, The Smoking Gun, might be the moment everything shifts. After years of drilling, researching, doubting, and hoping, the team is now closer than ever to uncovering not just treasure, but an answer. The swamp is hot again, the money pit keeps giving clues, and scientific analysis may finally confirm what many have suspected all along. Oak Island wasn't just a hiding place, it was a planned operation. The episode begins with the team continuing their aggressive drilling campaign in the money pit. After the staggering discoveries of Episode 3, including the surprisingly deep void at over 228 feet below the surface, the team has doubled down with renewed focus. Every core that comes up now matters. Every foot of depth could change history. In Episode 4, that strategy intensifies. The drilling pushes beyond previous known levels of the solution channel, entering zones that, according to historical data, shouldn't even exist. The drill rods are dropping again, and this time, there's even less material coming back up. That indicates open space, possibly man-made space. The deeper they go, the fewer natural explanations remain. As Terry and Rick analyze the new cores, there's a sense of urgency. If treasure was dropped centuries ago, gravity would push it to the lowest point in the solution channel. Meaning, if treasure exists, it must be near bedrock. The team is inching closer to that level. What lies just beneath could change everything. But the real shocker comes when a tiny piece of material is recovered from the core barrel. At first glance, it looks insignificant, perhaps a small fragment of metal, stone, or debris. But once cleaned, someone makes an exciting suggestion. This might be a chunk of a coin. The cameras zoom in. A faint but undeniable design is visible on the metal. The team immediately realizes the stakes. If this is silver, it could be part of a buried treasure cache. But more importantly, it could be the trail to the truth. In the preview, Emma pores over the fragment, saying only one phrase that sends shivers down the spine. Be prepared to be gobsmacked. This is going to be special. If the metal proves to be silver, and pure silver, then the theory of treasure in the solution channel becomes more than speculation. It becomes evidence. And on Oak Island, evidence changes everything. The swamp, once considered a geological oddity, is now arguably the most important area on the island. Over the past few episodes, we've seen potential pathways, medieval stakes, 13th century stone structures, and now, another surprise. As the excavator digs into the western side of the swamp, a new feature emerges. It's abrupt, it's strange, and it's clearly deliberate. Rick immediately stops the operation. Hold it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Another feature in the swamp. No one expected to find anything in this area. It wasn't even considered high priority. But the island has a habit of keeping secrets until it wants them revealed. Now the question is this another pathway? A hiding place? Or evidence of a large-scale operation that once took place on Oak Island? Some theories are now resurfacing. Trade routes, pre-Columbian visitors, Templar navigators, Portuguese explorers, Knights of Malta, and even Norse connections. The swamp may soon provide a smoking gun that validates one of them. Season 13 has already delivered a treasure trove of clues. A Roman coin from 250 to 270 AD. A Portuguese cruzado from the 1300s. Venetian seed beads, possibly tied to Knights of Malta trade patterns. Stake patterns dating as far back as the 1600s. Pathways, stone roads, and mysterious voids beneath the money pit. In Episode 4, the discoveries are no longer isolated. The data is converging. Each artifact no longer stands alone. They may be chapters in the same story. Rick reflects in a moment of quiet urgency. We are now possibly dealing with multiple centuries of activity and maybe one purpose. Could that purpose have been a pre-planned burial operation? Was Oak Island selected because of its geological advantages, the perfect location for a vault that would naturally sink valuables deep into the solution channel? If so, then history didn't happen on Oak Island. History was engineered on Oak Island. Rick, usually the voice of caution, shows a shift in tone in this episode. Even he begins to believe that they may be closing in, not just on treasure, but on the truth. Marty focuses on data. Rick focuses on patterns. Gary focuses on artifacts. Doug focuses on history. And suddenly, all four align. What makes the episode feel different is the team's energy. They no longer ask, "What happened here?" They now ask, "Why was Oak Island chosen?" That shift is monumental. It implies purpose. And purpose implies intention, the kind tied to missions, orders, secrecy, even sacred oaths. The analysis of the potential coin fragment will be pivotal. If proven to be silver and pure, this episode will mark a turning point in the entire history of the show. Because silver doesn't migrate naturally. Silver doesn't appear by chance. Silver is left behind by people. The suspense builds as the artifact is prepared for testing. No speculations. No hype. Pure science, the way Marty prefers. Emma confirms. This is quite pure. The room goes silent. Suddenly, the phrase, "smoking gun," feels incredibly appropriate. If the team has indeed found evidence of treasure at depth, this could accelerate everything. Permits, funding, research, geophysical scanning, expansion into new areas. Perhaps even a strategic dig deep into the bedrock beneath the solution channel. The swamp could now be key to understanding who is involved. The money pit might reveal what they left behind. But Lot 5, the place where Roman coins and Venetian beads surfaced, may hold the answer to why. As Rick says, every piece adds to the puzzle, but we need the piece that explains the puzzle. Is Episode 4 showing us that piece? The Curse of Oak Island has built its legacy on four things: patience, belief, science, and persistence. Episode May 4th prove to be the moment all of them finally meet at one crossroads. Is this the season everything changes? Is the treasure finally within reach? Or are we still missing one more layer? The swamp, the money pit, and Lot 5 are all speaking at once, and Episode 4 suggests they may finally be telling one story. As always, Oak Island keeps its secrets close, but the smoking gun might be the first step toward finally pulling the trigger on the truth. Beyond the potential silver coin, the swamp itself is becoming one of the most compelling characters in Season 13. What was once thought to be a boggy natural formation is now behaving like a deliberately engineered landscape. The new feature they discovered, possibly stone-lined, possibly geometric, has raised speculation that someone may have built a concealed access point or even used the area as a staging ground. The team is beginning to speak less about treasure vaults and more about logistical operations, which suggests something far more intentional occurred here many centuries ago. Gary Drayton, swinging his metal detector with trademark enthusiasm, reacts immediately when the machine lights up near the new feature. He knows better than anyone that artifacts don't exist in isolation. Their location and depth provide context. In Episode 4, he appears genuinely energized, as if even his experience is struggling to process what they're uncovering. When Gary says, "If that's silver, that's treasure," it's not just optimism talking. It's decades of expertise recognizing that silver in that context doesn't belong there, unless someone put it there. Meanwhile, the drilling team in the money pit area continues to chase the solution channel. Each core sample is analyzed with a level of scrutiny typically reserved for archaeological digs, not treasure hunts. That speaks volumes about how the show has evolved. What started as a modern treasure expedition has become a scientific investigation into ancient engineering. The more they drill, the more their data defies random geological explanations. This is structure. This is planning. This is preparation. It's beginning to feel like the island itself was modified for something monumental. The CT scans are another fascinating development. In Episode 4, the fragment is placed under advanced imaging, and something faint but undeniable shows up on the scan. Shapes, lines, possibly symbols. The team's reaction says everything. They're stunned. That kind of imaging rarely gives absolute answers, but it proves one thing beyond question: something was made. something with purpose. So, once again, Season 13 is asking the most important question of all. What if Oak Island isn't hiding treasure, but a message? That would be far more valuable. Historian Doug Crowell has already been combing through centuries of references to secret societies, maritime traditions, and old-world cartography. In Episode 4, he appears more convinced than ever that Oak Island may have been waypoints or a storage node in a larger network stretching across the Atlantic. Tools, coins, beads, and structures dating from different eras don't negate each other. When viewed properly, they form a timeline. The History Channel has hinted that upcoming episodes will attempt to map that timeline. If they succeed, it could become one of the most groundbreaking pieces of research ever featured on the series. One of the most powerful moments in Episode 4 is subtle but significant. Rick Lagina pauses and simply listens to the equipment and the environment. For a man so reserved, his silence says a lot. It's as if even he is sensing that the island's mystery might soon cross the line from theory to fact. Rick has always believed Oak Island might not give answers easily, but it will eventually give them. His expression in this episode suggests that, perhaps for the first time, he thinks they might be close. The idea of a smoking gun raises expectations for the rest of the season, and the team seems aware of that pressure. They're moving more carefully now, with greater coordination between the researchers, archaeologists, and drill teams. There's an unspoken urgency, because if they truly are closing in on a major discovery, every step must be correctly documented. If this season breaks the 230-year-old mystery, it must be done right. No mistakes, no leaps of faith. Every piece of history must hold up to scrutiny, but the show doesn't end the episode with certainty, it ends with potential. And that's the brilliance of Season 13 so far. Each discovery leads not to closure, but to possibility. Every artifact delivers more questions than answers. And yet, viewers don't feel frustrated anymore. They feel ready for the moment when one piece of evidence becomes undeniable and changes history in an instant. That's why the fragment from Episode 4, if proven to be silver, medieval, and deliberate, could be that moment. Episode 4 of The Smoking Gun leaves us with anticipation rather than resolution. The swamp still holds secrets, the money pit still has more to say, and the island itself stands as a silent witness to something extraordinary that took place long ago. If next week's episode continues this trajectory, we may be headed toward one of the most significant findings in the Curse of Oak Island history. One thing is certain, this season has momentum, and Oak Island is finally speaking. The question is, are we ready to listen?